Hello and welcome to these short revision sessions by Nurturing Minds. It's been a case of trial and error. We tried the lives, that didn't really work. My technology skills are absolutely zero. I've been trying to research in different ways that we could do it. We didn't have the background noise and etc. And without buying lots and lots of expensive equipment, I can't find another solution. So here we are. I'm going to record it on my phone and then upload it as a video, which means unfortunately it's not live and we're not going to have that interaction, but it does mean that you can pause and you can jot down notes and you've got it saved and you can go over and over this as you please. Okay, so we're going to start by revising some of the characters and some of the themes in A Christmas Carol, which is a novel that most Year 11s, Year 10s and Year 11s study for their GCSE. And we're going to start by looking at the character of Jacob Marley. Now, why is this important? Why are these short revision sessions going to be important to your exams in the summer? Now, some of you may have done about the forgetting curve in school. You know, you are taught something and a week later you can't remember the knowledge and the skills that you have been taught. But if you do lots and lots of short revision and you're jotting down the quotes and you're jotting down the skills and jotting down what you need to know, then this is going to help you retain that information so you can recall it quickly when you need to in your exam in the summer. Right, so we're going to start with the character of Jacob Marley, who we meet at the very beginning of the novel. Okay, we're told Marley was dead to begin with. So if you just draw a mind map in the middle of your page and write Jacob Marley and then just press pause and spend about 30 seconds per minute, what can you remember about the character of Jacob Marley? What have you done in school? What have you learnt from A Christmas Carol about Jacob Marley? So press pause and jot that down. Fantastic. Okay, when you're doing the sessions, it would be great if you have a copy of the book in front of you. You can pick them up from Amazon quite cheaply. I'd always recommend actually getting a second-hand copy, because the second-hand after you've used them anyway, and you only need it until the summer. But also have a different coloured pen. Some schools use purple, some schools use green, etc. But just have a different coloured pen that you can add the notes in that you are adding in when we do the feedback. So we know that Marley is Scrooge's business partner. We know that he's his only friend. Right at the beginning, we are told he is his sole friend, and we have that repetition of sole, don't we? His sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole assign, his sole friend, his sole mourner. We have that repetition there. Dickens is making us very, very clear that you know, they are people who are solitary, who are on their own. We know that he died 7 years before the start of the story. He tells Scrooge that his chain, when he talks about the chain, Scrooge's chain, it was as full and heavy and as long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. Scrooge's is worse than Marley's. Dickens implying that Scrooge is in for an even more horrible fate than Marley. He's had 7 more years to build his chain. The door knocker at the beginning transforms into Marley's face, which foreshadows the visit of Marley's ghost later that evening. Only Scrooge attended his funeral, which we read he was his sole mourner. And with Scrooge, he ran the counting house in London, where we meet Scrooge at the beginning of the story. Okay, Marley and Scrooge are very similar in a number of ways. Okay, so again, just pause and then jot down some of the ways that you can remember that Scrooge and Marley are similar. They're described as 2 kindred spirits. They're both obsessed with money. Both of them don't care about other people. Scrooge actually lives in Marley's old rooms. He answers to Marley's names. And these similarities have been used by Dickens to emphasise that Marley is a warning figure. He is here to warn Scrooge. Okay, we're going to look at some of the quotes that are relevant to Marley that you could use in the exam. Now, this here is from the examiner's mark scheme and the examiner's reports. It tells us you've got to support your comments with well chosen and short quotations. Write these key quotations down, use revision cards, use post-it notes, stick them up everywhere, stick them up by your desk, stick them up on your bedroom wall, stick them up in the bathroom, stick them up in the loo, so that you're learning these. Candidates who use appropriate evidence from the text to support their ideas are able to access the higher bands. You've got to have that appropriate evidence. You need to learn these key quotes, and that goes across all of the text that you've got for your exam. The best responses are based on a careful consideration of the text with well-selected examples. There's no merit in writing out large chunks of text as it wastes valuable time. And at the bottom, what's important is choosing the right and best references to support and develop the argument, to make sure these important quotes, these key quotes, you have learnt. Okay, I wear the chain I forged in life. Now, some of you in school might do the quotation explosion, which is a technique that I use in my lessons. So if you want to just write down that quote in the middle of your page, I wear the chain I forged in life. This is Marley talking to Scrooge when he appears at the ghost at the beginning of the story. And then just annotate the quote, the quotation explosion, just annotate it as to why this is important, okay? How would you use this to develop an argument, to support an argument about Marley? So if you press pause and then annotate your quote. Okay, so he's wearing this chain that's shown that he's suffering in the afterlife, and it's a visual image of his sins. I wear the chain I forged in life. He made that chain himself. He wasn't tricked into it. It's through his choices. It's how he's treated other people. It's made of the cash boxes, padlocks, ledgers, deeds, and heavy purses, if you remember. Okay, that's what the chain is made of. And that shows what was important to Marley in life. Every action and bad deed he's done has added links to those chains. And the idea of forged, being made or created, links back to the Industrial Revolution, which is is part of your context of A Christmas Carol. Mankind was my business. So if you want to press pause and then do a quotation explosion there. Okay, so mankind was my business. Scrooge told the two charity collectors that he won't donate to them because it's not his business. And then Marley comes along and he says, actually, no, mankind was my business. We must all be looking after each other. And he's reminding Scrooge, remember that Marley is a warning to Scrooge. He's reminding Scrooge that it's people that should be what he's focusing his energy on. And this reflects Dickens' ideas on social responsibility. We all should be helping one another. In fact, it's our duty to help one another. You will be haunted by 3 spirits. Again, if you'd like to press pause and then do a quotation explosion on this quote. Marley is warning Scrooge that he must change and tells him that he'll have 3 visits from the spirits. Okay, it also gives this timeline of events that it could get a bit confusing for the reader because we have past, present and future coming up, and that could be confusing. So Dickens is making the structure really clear here, but it's basically, this is his last chance of redemption. These 3 spirits are the last chance that Scrooge has got of redemption. Otherwise, he's going to be suffering the same fate as Marley. Don't forget you can press pause at any point and be jotting these notes down so you've got those in your revision. Okay, what is Marley's function in the novel? Why is he here? Why did Dickens choose to include Marley in the novel? He's showing Scrooge what's going to happen if he doesn't change his behaviour. He's also going to be wandering the earth with these spirits, and he's going to be in essentially what's purgatory. And he's warning Scrooge that he must change. He's telling Scrooge he's going to have the visit from 3 spirits, which form the rest of the book, which is his last chance of redemption. But Marley's suggesting to Scrooge that his fate's worse than his. Obviously, Scrooge's chain was as heavy as Marley's 7 Christmas Eves ago. Scrooge has had another 7 years on Marley on his chain. Dickens is using Marley to emphasise the importance of social responsibility. This is the consequence. If you're not helping other people, if mankind isn't your business, this is going to be the consequence. We must be looking after our friends, family and neighbours. And more importantly, at the bottom there, he says, I'm here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate. Okay, once the 3 ghosts have come, this is his chance of redemption. Oh, sorry. And also Marley demonstrates was the beginning of Scrooge's transformation. At the end of the chapter, at the end of the staver, he tries to say humbug. We've heard him say humbug earlier on, bar humbug. But he can't finish the word, okay? So he's had the visit from Marley, he's had the warning, he's waiting for the 3 ghosts, and he can't finish the word, which is a sign that he's already changing and losing this negative outlook on life. But right at the beginning, when he sees Marley's face in the door knocker, he's give Scrooge this terrible sensation he hasn't felt since he was a baby. He hasn't actually been this afraid since he was a child. We're starting to see Scrooge's transformation. So although Marley isn't in the story for very long, he's actually really quite important. How does Dickens use Marley as a moral warning to both Scrooge and the reader? Okay, again, do you want to just pause and then just bullet point your thoughts to this question? How is Dickens using Marley as a moral warning to both Scrooge and the reader? Marley's learned his lessons too late. It's far too late for him. He's doomed to travel this world. He's wearing this chain. He's made this chain himself. And, he forged it himself. He's described as being in the incessant torture of remorse. But this is the fate that awaits Scrooge if he doesn't change. And Marley says to him, to shun the path that I tread. Scrooge has got this one chance of redemption. He's got this one chance of changing his fate so that he's not caught in this incessant torture of remorse. Okay. If you're local to the Northwest, there are a couple of things that might be of interest to you. St George's Hall in Liverpool has actually got a stage adaptation of A Christmas Carol in the run-up to Christmas. We've actually booked that for a couple of days just before Christmas Eve. So that will be a lovely festive day out, actually, but also good revision. And if you're more Yorkshire way, the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway have got A Christmas Carol on their steam train over Christmas. This looked actually absolutely amazing. In fact, it's just a little bit too far for us. So you've got to be age 10 and over. So I think it's not going to be childish like some of the other Christmas steam trains. And they're telling you the story of the Christmas Carol with the ghost. But again, a lovely festive day out. But it's all revision as well at the same time. So that's today's revision, the character of Marley. I hope that was helpful. Hope my nerves haven't come across as much as they are here, and I will update you about when the next video will be uploaded. But make sure that you're using these and you're using them in your revision and you're jotting down the quotes and the all of the key knowledge about Marley and everybody else and the themes that we are going to be studying. And good luck. If you've got any questions, then obviously just message me. Thank you.